And here we have our 1988 BMW 3 Series, the E30, a two-door 318i, which is the four-cylinder. There we are, 318i. This one is a manual transmission, which is obviously preferred, with the M40 engine. And as far as we can see so far, she's looking pretty straight. Haven't had a chance to really look at all the details on this one yet, but time will tell. As you can see, no big major problems, at least cosmetically. And I'm happy to say mechanically, she's been really well maintained, considering the car for her age. As I said, that 1.8 litre engine, the M40, has been regularly serviced, and it's only done 112,000 Ks. And the logbook's really well stamped, so it's actually running really well. The brakes are running well, the brakes are working well, the suspension seems to be pretty good. So the whole drivetrain and mechanicals seem to be pretty good. We will be addressing those as time goes, and we may do modifications to the brakes and the suspension, possibly to the engine as well. But when things are this clean and original, I think it's sort of best to keep that originality there, but we'll see as time goes on. Going around the car, as we said, it's really well maintained and it's a good straight example, but there are lots of little problems. Maybe no major ones, but lots of little ones. While we're on the outside of the car, cosmetically we do have some clear coat peeling here, which seems to be only on the passenger door at this stage. But we do have lots of other little paint faults going around, scratches like this one, scratches on basically every panel. We do have a nice little ding down here on the passenger side rear wheel well. Now, feeling behind here, I can feel that that's where the tub for the rear wheel itself is welded onto the body there. And it's unlikely the paintless dent remover guy will be able to get his tools in there to pop that one out. But I will give him a call and see if we can come up with a good solution. As I said, there's lots of little scratches all over the car, probably not visible on video. So little discolorations, little nicks. I'll get my torch. Here's the front, so obviously the bumper bar doing its job. And lots of faded plastics. The valance, lots of chips. And quite faded obviously as well. The driver's door is always notorious for bad scratches. You can see some here, don't know what they came from. But then obviously around the point of entry where someone's been putting their key in there for the last 34 years and done a sloppy job of it. Nice nicks out of the bumper. But all in all, at least on the outside, we only have little problems. Alright, let's have a look at the interior. Alright, so the interior, as we can see, it's in pretty good condition, considering the car is 34 years old. Even going towards the door jambs to start off, you can see they're filthy as hell, but the paint's in pretty good nick, and even at the seams, doesn't seem to be any rust, which is always a good sign. as I said, we've got 112 on the speedo. Now apparently the speedometer has actually stopped working about 6 months ago. The previous owner, very honest, now he said he's probably done about 500k since then. Now looking at the logbook, there are the service documents and receipts noting, I think the cam belt changed at 109,000 kilometres, which was 2 years ago, and give the infrequent use of the car. So I think he's been correct. We can round it up to 115,000 to call it safe, but still not too bad. Original tape deck, that's pretty awesome. A lot of the trim and plastics in here have obviously discoloured over time, but aside from that they're all intact and don't to be too badly damaged. No pop out rear windows on this model, and apparently underneath these sheepskin seat covers we are going to find some ripped seats, of course, but we will be addressing those at some stage as well. All in all, not a bad starting spot. Yeah. Not too bad at all. The steering wheel is very worn, obviously. We will be addressing that at some stage too. Now, let's have a look under the bonnet. Alright, so there's our E30 engine bay with our M40 1.8 litre engine. It's one of the smaller engines the E30 came with, but it is still a nice little engine, doesn't do too badly. This one's running really healthy, so I don't think we're going to source about changing it to a straight 6 or something, not at this stage anyway. With respect to the car being quite original, I think it would be blasphemous to take out this original engine when it's running so well. As you can see, it's pretty clean in here. We will give things a nice good clean up and a detail while we are doing some servicing on the engine mechanicals. And a couple of things I did notice is we do have some rust down here in the battery tray, which is very common. And we do also have, I think where this is a heat up drainage pipe. The little pipe has come off that little hole down there and allowed water to get maybe between the black matting and the firewall, and I think we may have a little bit of rust down there, but we will address that in time as well. But apart from that, and these couple little spots just here in the corner of the bonnet, I haven't found any other rust as of yet. Looking at all the bolts on the guards, or the nuts rather, nothing looks to be modified, so it doesn't look like the car's been taken apart before or been in accidents. Well, the paint seems to be still on them. Not a bad starting point. Now, a couple of things I did notice as well is when I did get delivery of this one, the antenna, which is right here, was stuck in the up position. Now it was shorting out the fuse, which is the same fuse for the lighter in the interior, and what it ended up being was, I'll show you, so look at that torch. Inside the boot here is obviously, and we will go back behind our matting. We have our antenna and motor. Now we can see those wires there, they were actually shorting out on the chassis, which was blowing the fuse. Once I just temporarily fixed that, and we can get the antenna down, though it was very sticky. So I think we will look at replacing this with an original part as well. And I think while we're at it, I think we'll place that rubber gasket that's a little bit aged and coming apart, or grommet. Alright, so back inside the car, as I said, it's running pretty well. We'll just start it up quickly. So our exterior lighting's working. Someone has been good. They've been turning off the service meter and the service lights. Working alright. Check on the lights. Well, I've got one tail light out. That'll do for now. So all in all, not a bad starting point. I think with this restoration, what we're going to be focusing on is keeping things original, but fixing all those little things that are broken, and bringing this old girl back to life. We'll focus on all those little cosmetic things, making a couple of small improvements, but I think the end result we're going to aim for is something like a concourse car. And they say, if you aim for the sun, hopefully you'll land on the moon. So if you aim for a concourse car, it should end up pretty clean, but time will tell.